Big Norn, don't wear the pants. Don't wear pants. Howdy folks, Richie aka Bog Otter here. The Blood and Madness patch in Guild Wars 2 has landed, and with it a bunch of changes that affect traits and combat in general, and even some warrior specific things I want to go over in this video. So the first thing I'm showing here is the this is before the patch. You can look at some of these tooltips for some of the traits, and they don't really give you a lot of information. For example, one of the ones says, shouts heal, but it doesn't tell you how much they heal. A lot of these things are very vague, like banners also give you regeneration. So basically, you weren't able to figure out exactly what an ability did unless you actually painstakingly took off your gear and used the target dummies and slowly added these traits in, and you can actually, like, figure the numbers out by just trial and error. And so what they did was, let me switch the screen now to show you what some of these things look like now. Okay, and you can see right here, shouts heal, but now that has a number underneath, and it tells you exactly how much it is. Now, a lot of these other things, they just separate it out, they put icons in, and now there's no, like, guesswork involved. You can really see the amount of detail they put into these, and this is a great change. This is for all classes, not just for warriors that I'm showing now. There is just a big change that went into this, and this was much needed for the game. Now, if you're a fan of warrior shout builds, then there's a pretty big change here. They changed where lung capacity is. They moved lung capacity to tier 1, which allows you to use your shouts more often, and that allows you to pick up Shrug It Off in tier 2. Previously, you weren't able to have both lung capacity and Shrug It Off. So now there's a total of 4 different traits that affect your shouts that you can kind of craft your build. Going along with the changes to shout builds, vigorous shouts, which actually allows you to heal when you're using your shouts, they increase the base healing by 25%, and they increase the scaling with the healing power stat from 80 to 90%. So right now, let me just show you. I have a, I used to run this spec. This is a very defensive shout healing spec with vigorous shouts. Now you can do Shrug It Off and lung capacity all together. And I put on my cleric's armor. Now I still have berserker accessories and stuff like that, so it isn't full like clerics or anything. But you can see, I'll show you what my shouts are healing for now. And this will be my whole party. This will remove conditions because I have my rune set is of the soldier, so this will remove conditions when I use shouts. Yes. And it also will heal my entire party. But here's what it does. It's about 2100 there.
Shake it off.
Yeah, 2165. And keep in mind that's not even with full, healing power gear. But you can do pretty significant healing to you and your allies on a pretty short cooldown because you have lung capacity trait. So that's it. It's just another. They basically beefed up the support builds a little bit. Of course, you're not going to do much damage with this spec at all. But if you like keeping you and your party alive and running dungeons, then they've made some improvements to it. Now, along with the changes they made to traits, when a trait actually impacts one of your abilities, you can see it's highlighted in teal. Now, you look at my 4 Great Justice, you can see my healing and my adrenaline are both boosted up on there, and that's because of the traits impacting it. So it's easier now to tell if something is actually being improved by your traits or not. Now, the hammer number 4 skill has been updated. This is Staggering Blow. Previously, this is the old build. This is before they made the change. When you swing this, you watch, my character doesn't move. He actually pauses, and he has to completely stop while he's swinging it, which is kind of annoying. All right, here it is again. You can see I'm about to attack him, but it actually totally makes my character stop, and I actually missed the target there. So they've updated this skill, and you can actually see it here. I'm going to use the number 4, and I will continue moving as I swing. You still have a slightly reduced movement speed while it's going off, but it's significantly more fluid and just feels a lot better. All right, here it goes one more time, and you can see I'm still moving while I swing that. There are several other warrior quality of life increases, a couple buffs, a couple things that were brought back a little bit, but overall, if you want to see all of the warrior changes, you can see them on my screen here, or you can read the official patch notes. They made significant changes to how condition floaters are actually displayed. See, I'm going to actually put a bleed effect on this golem. This was before the patch, and you can see that these little ticks of 43 going over his head, as I stack it up, they get more rapid and more rapid, but it just creates a mess on the screen. You don't really get a good sense of how much damage you're actually doing with those bleeds. Now compare that to the new condition floaters that are appearing here, and you can see it has a nice little graphic for the bleed symbol, and it stacks and puts all of the damage in one lump sum. And you can see it ticks regularly and actually decreases as the stacks wear off. Last up, I want to talk about the different kinds of options now you have for AoE targeting. This is the old build. You have this fast ground targeting option, which you can turn on and off. If you have it off, it just, you cast the spell, and then you aim your reticle, and then you click to actually cast the spell. If you have the fast cast ground targeting turned on, which I'm doing right now, it will actually, as soon as you press the button, it will actually launch that AoE exactly to your mouse pointer, like that. In the new build, you now have 3 options. You have the normal, which I showed you, the instant, which I showed you, and now you have a new option called fast with range indicator. Now, if you choose this middle option in here, it actually will show the range indicator as you hold down the key to cast the spell, and when you release the spell is when it will actually cast. So it's always great to have some additional place choices for different play styles. So that's going to wrap things up, the combat and warrior changes from the latest Blood and Madness patch in Guild Wars 2. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, favorite, subscribe, and I hope everybody has a great day. Take care.